that really makes my Sunday night. It's the stage that's trickier to get on than Universal Credits. He's living the dream tonight. But yeah, I thought now that I'm up here, I'd just tell you some funny stories about shit legs, because the legs are shit and the stories are funny. It's genuinely an odd one for me, because like, unlike Lady Gaga, I was not born this way. At first, when I asked them to do shit, they did. But in recent years, when they've become increasingly wank at everything I ask them to do, I thought I've got to try and be a grown-up about this. I've got to try and chat to a GP and see if we can work out what the issue is. So I book an appointment with him, and I'm sat in his room, and he's like, what's the problem, Mr. Brook? I says, well, it's the lower limbs, isn't it? He says, what do you mean? I says, well, what if George Michael were right about guilty feet having no rhythm? He says, you've not booked an appointment with my clinic over fears that you're never going to dance again, have you? And I'm like, no, I mean, as if I'd waste this chance that I've been given. But I said, obviously it is the legs. He says, well, what's the problem with them? I says, well, they're a bit like the young folk that work weekends in Argos, yeah? Because to look at them, they're fine. Until I ask them to do anything. In that case, they're pretty much unresponsive dickheads. He says, fair play, that does sound pretty rough. And he bounces off to see a consultant to work out the flavour of disabled I am. Now, before you chat to the boss man, what you do is have a chat with like a diagnostic nurse. See if they can pick off any of the low-hanging fruit of what's wrong with you. Now, if you've got any basic adult skills, that's a piss easy appointment to get through. But what we're going to realise tonight is that I'm genuinely even worse at being a grown-up than I am at walking. So, never going to happen. So, I'm sat down in the office with her and she says, okay, Mr. Brook, we're going to start off with a nice simple question. Could you tell me, last time you got laid, what was your weight? £8, £5 ounces. Can't lie to the NHS. She makes a very quick decision just to throw me back out into the rain. So shortly after, when I get to the nod to go and see the main man, I do that, but in my unique sort of walking style, so it's sort of. Now I'm guessing our boss man in his little office, he's getting similar vibes to that scene in Jurassic Park. He wants to know why the fuck his green tea's now got a froth on it. He has a little wander to the door to see what's causing it. He's like, Mr. Bro! Calm down, you know. So I'm really kebab shop owners that excited to see me shuffling towards the door. So once I get in, he gives it the old soft close and he's like, you're here today for me to see your legs, aren't you? So it'd be nice to see your legs if you'd take them shorts off for us. I'm thinking, okay, probably a bit too old and a lot too round for this to be a nonce request. I'm going to assume it's medical and give the boy what he's asking for. As I start to lower that day's denim off cuts, I have have a glance down and realise that we've got a bit of a situation, because it's hard to imagine that a pair of boxers exist in a worse state of health than I am, but they do, and I'm wearing them. So I'm glancing down, and genuinely I'm becoming increasingly aware that password 123 is more secure than the one button that remains. I'm never ever going to be Giacomo's most religious customer. At this point, I am saying a little prayer that for the next few minutes, Big Lad has got the sleepiest dick in Yorkshire, and I somehow get through this process without ending up on a register. So, mission accomplished. Now, shortly after this, they sent me the next appointment through. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I paid no attention beyond 10 to 11 on a Monday morning. Because at that point for me, that was a full day off me selling PPI. So, in fact, I was living the call centre dream. Now, the striking blue eyes that you can see, and the one that's covered up at tonight's ticket price, they only got opened to what happens at a urology appointment during the urology appointment, yeah? So when this guy's again like, would you mind removing your shorts and laying on the bed? I'm like, you do not achieve this BMI by turning down opportunities to lay down. So I get to the bed, like, on your back, as you do. And he's like, no, actually on your side, please. So I do, like a French girl waiting to be painted. Never seen Titanic. And he's like, no, actually, your other side. And I'm still at this point not catching up with what's coming. So starts engaging and turning. And just as we've nearly completed it, the panic does start to kick in. But it's not like that. It's the realisation that I've ripped up all that blue paper underneath. So just to ease that tension, I decided to ask my boy, but what possible reason is there for me to face away from you? Now our guy could have obviously answered this question with any of the many words in his medical vocabulary, but what he taught me that morning was that on this planet there is genuinely not a louder noise than the snap of a rubber glove. So while I'm laid there, I'm staring at the wall and the inevitability of what's incoming. And I spot a little sign for Fire Assembly Point B. And I'm like, nothing life-threatening, because obviously after all we are in a hospital, but if there could be any reason we needed to gather there in the next couple of minutes, fact that leaves today untouched, that would be me, but no, there I am. 5 to 11 on a Monday morning, getting fingered by a stranger. Again. No idea what his star sign is. No promise of a little cheeky Nando. Just the awareness that the piggy who stayed home finger on his hand is a sign of a fucking rolling. There we go. But towards the end of all these checks, they genuinely decided that I'm at a point now where the only way I can be less disabled is if there is less of me to be disabled. So, let's be honest, if the NHS were handing out medals for like a top 3 of wasted appointments, I'm getting a medal. But what I admire about this dietitian lady is she's again dead professional when I get into the appointment. She's like, okay, Mr. Brook, could you tell me, regular exercise, is that anything that you managed to achieve? I'm like, oh yeah. According to the old smartwatch. 6-7 hours a day. that's amazing. What is it you do? I said, oh, I just learned to eat biscuits left-handed. What I admire truly about this lady is that she genuinely thought that I'd have burnt out my little dickhead energy at that point. And that if she asked me a second question, she'd get an adult answer to it. So she's like, okay, you've mentioned your diet there. I mean, could you tell me, how often would you imagine that you eat fruits and vegetables as part of that? Let's be honest. About as often as you imagine your dad eats your mum. That's a powerful Sunday night image, isn't it? But I'm sure none of you will be shocked to know that there's been no follow-up to that particular. But just to confirm, my ability to dickhead is not limited to NHS appointments. Genuinely, anything in life brings that out in me whenever I have to get involved in it. Towards the end of the last lockdown bit that we had, I got a little Thursday morning text off my daughter to let me know that I was going to be a granddad. So obviously, being me, my reply to that was, oh, so you filled in lockdown by getting filled in then? Sometimes you get to that point where you'll take the groan over the laugh because it's a different kind of win. But, we're going to end on the actual face-to-face chat of this particular live event because it's a classier way to end things. So when her and her boyfriend came down to mine for that chat, I said to our soft lad, as we call him, got a damaging memory. Take a seat, kid, because what I've got for you is some strong advice that I think is going to do you the world of good when the parenting game starts waiting. Because what you're going to realise at that stage is how similar inches of dick and hours of sleep really are, yeah? Because you're always going to wish that you had 8. But you are going to be fucking amazed at what you've achieved with 2.5. What a beautiful note to end on. Listen, you lot have totally been worth being in trainers for 4 hours. I've been Johnny Brook. Thank you for having me.